sineliswa siwalaza. Mamcweha uvambane usiyoyo ozalwa nguMagxarha. Mwazalwa nge-30th kaJune 1919. So kulele New Crossroads, uzalelwe apha eCape Town. New Crossroads isenyanga, between Nyanga neGugulethu. So that's where we met.
Molweni, igama likabhuti nguSimon Gaji. He was born Gaji and he's still Gaji. Ungumqithi isiduko sakhe uHala, uMadiba, uSopitso, uYemyeni uvela bembanisela, uZondwa zintshaba zingazumenzanto, uMtande uMlete. Uzalelwa eKapa, ikhaya kodwa ke lisecala. Uzalelwa eNew Crossroads, khula sonke eNew Crossroads, inyanga.
Nelly, wow. She's a sweet darling. Because what you see is what you get. She's loving, she's caring, she protects those that she loves.
He's very kind. Very kind. No bele, no thando. He's a soft person, soft spoken, but naughty.
And she would do anything for someone that she loves and cares about. She goes out of her way for Omnye Undu. And she's a strong person, she's got a strong personality. And I think that's what I love most about her. She compliments me. She is like the pillar of strength of this family.
He's fun, and also he compliments me because he's more like the cool, calm, and more like, so we used to say we are fire and ice when it comes to that. So he loves God. He's the man of faith. He's got faith.
And more than anything, I've seen that, yeah, many a times, even Kokwabo, like Kloneli, Tatawake, used to like Azeboneli and talk to her, and then you would see that she is, and he could see that she is the strong one. Not that the others are not strong, but I think more than anything, vocal, yes, strong, yeah.
He's a hustler, he's a hard worker. Yeah, and he put there as a gas. Yeah, that's him. Now I was friends with sister Waki, best friends. Because Sikula is one, we same age. So she was my best friend. And Sikula ngela xesha le Boys to Men. My cassette, I think we'll figure out on the end of the road. So again, we used to have big hardcovers, 192 pages where we write lyrics of the songs. So we had that relationship. We girls, we teenagers, and all that. He stayed kwamalme wake, not Kokwabo. So he would come and visit Kokwabo. So I think Nandizomqaphela, I don't know when, but Nzoqaphela lo bhuti, omnye ubhuti kas friend, or who would come Kokwabo as a lolon. And he looked so old because kwamalume kokukho taxi. So yamqonda umuntu ozoqhuba itaxi encinci. So he looked wayengubhuti. So I think ukumqaphela kanye ukudibana naye, but there was nothing etheni because wayengu boutique friend. So it was not like the love at first sight, no. Yeah, and so I was like a sister. I would sleep over because kuka friend. Abazali bethu, my mom and his mother are friends. So kwakungekho nditheni, yayindlu endithunywa uba ucela ityuwa ndiye ndiphethe isikhafutina socela umgubo ityuwa. So it was that setup. So there was nothing engaphaya when I saw him. And I think as ixesha lihamba, when he approached me, I fell in love, something similar to what he said, with the fact that he's caring. I fell in love with his character, how he treats sister wake, how he treats mamake, how he treats nje family yake, how he's like a father, you know, at that time, and how with family yake, and how he cares and he's concerned about thina ke also ukhutshiwe ku-KFC, so how he will be concerned into yobana mhlawumbi masilitye eliphiko siligqibe, because maybe endlini they are not eating KFC, you know, they're eating something different. So I think I fell in love with that because it was something I've seen from my dad. So he had a lot of similarities with Tata wam. So I think that's what really I fell in love with.
Back then, we had a community gospel choir. We worked on Masakane then. Ekhaya nakuloneli nakwamamukhosi, same street. The founder of the gospel choir community. We used to practice in those three houses. We were ekhaya ngenye iveki kwenye kwekwabo kwenye kuya. So although nandihlala kwamanme wam, but I would make time to come to choir because we love music. Ekhaya sithanda ucula nabo kwakuthanda ucula. So there's a lot of izinto nje esidibana ngazo. We would go to the practice. I was friends with sister wakho omdala uGeli. We were very close friends. She was still young then, Manele, and I would go to her house, hlale noKazi. We were doing in grade A1 kwelixesha langoku. Sistadisha kunye ngamaxesha, and then we would eat. Abe khona yena phuma ehlesenyuka no-sister wam. It's either balapha okanye bayisekhaya, whatever. Then as ixesha lihamba and neminyaka ihamba, and she was growing, and ekhaya there's a tree ekhoyo eyayikhona phaa. Ukhula kwam mna kule nto ayithethayo ubana bendingathi ngubhuti omdala, but one thing that I knew is that one day I want to get married. I want to have my own family. I want to have my own children. I knew that I was still a teenager now, but I knew what I wanted. There was a tree, I used to pray in that tree. I believe. I used to pray in that tree up until God showed me. You mean here a shop? We are a shop. The shop is the opposite. The Kaya's store is a shop. Tando mama outing as a shop and all that. But Kemna didn't have to go and stand next to the shop because the palm was a car, so I would just stand next to my tree. Of course, I took note because she was also growing. Then, wow, I fell in love. And it drive you, yeah, practice it drive you, visit. It ignited, more and more. I would go and visit. I would go more to Gaji, and then Inoko would extend. I became more closer to my sister as well, to get closer to her. So I was like, you know, what drove the whole thing is that every time when I see her, I'm like, I love her. This is the one. This is the one. This is the one. And every time when I go to my tree and pray, I'm guessing this one. I'm just a church goer because the guy is kuleta, so I know what umdu yatandas. Noba awutandas a girlfriend na, but umdu yafukatandas. But that time I was very consistent. Even going to Ekhaya, but lamtin and I would go and pray there. Unfortunately, in the lamtin work hard because I chat to sister wam. So history iphela kuloo ndawo. I can't take you until ndithi nangu ke lo mthi. So but more than anything I fell in love with her even more as bana ikhula, and nobody bana jonga, she is very serious about life work. She knows what she wants, and they had friends. You know what was nice during our time? In neighborhood, and the friends that you have, you can see you can tell which tree or which fruit you can take out of these trees. As a friends, they are a bunch, but you can see as fun as you know which one is suitable for you. So I think each and yam yokumthanda yaya ikhula ngokhula up until ke ngoku that's namandaya I grow isibindi yena ibeke indaba.
There's a lot. Qala, I think when is the first year of marriage, there's this idea ka rich no broke, pa bold and beautiful. Can you Taylor? Taylor no.
Taylor no. Steve.
No, I'm fine.
Steve.
Yes, Steve. That's what I was so bold. See, like days of our lives. Yes. So it's cookies are couples or yes.
Bono hope.
Bono. If I get married, we are Bo and Hope. But then I think when in marriage you start to realize that, but no, this is life. It's not a fairy tale. And in life there are challenges, because we've never stayed together. I think now when you get to know the real person. So I think one of the things I would tell my younger self is to stop being insecure, because I think one of the challenges we've had or conflicts we've had were all because I was insecure. They had nothing to do with him. We're all because I had my own insecurities about myself, about how I look and all that. I thought I was fat then. There's those things. We are married, and I mean even then divorce was there. So you are insecure. Those things. So I think some of conflicts that were so unnecessary were all because I was insecure. So I would tell Uneli then to trust herself, to be confident in herself, and I would also, I think, tell her as well to communicate better, because ezinye also the conflicts were because the approach Kaneli was not right. I would tell her you were not wrong for voicing out whatever you needed to, but you were wrong with how you were communicating. That's what I would tell Nelly. I think lastly, I would tell her to believe that she is indeed loved by this man, because sometimes we coming from environments and no cooler. And he's always been, clear that I love you, and there were times that I was so now you are like I feel great because but I would tell her to celebrate umshado wakhe. I would tell her to be happy, and just believe that she is loved. I think there's a lot I would tell my younger self. I would tell myself, but rapper great. I would tell her, like, just loosen up, I would tell her, I think I would tell her still, which is something I did tell her, and which has sustained me to be able to juggle between Doba Siyamthanda emzini and then Noneli. I will still tell her into wow, you made a good decision ngaleyo, because the child didn't a degree, but I still pursued that because I knew that's what Nelly wanted. So Nelly could still xa ingathi into kaSiyamthanda uyazi mos asingene emtshatweni nento yeligama iyaku-excita, sinazo nezaringi zethu thina ezinithi zepotato salads ku. So you also want to look like nkosikazi and all that, and it's easy to drown and forget yourself ukulondo, forget the person that this person fell in love with, which is Uneli Zongotu Siyamthanda. Yeah, so I would tell her, because I think on that one I really tried and managed to to manage to pull Uneli as well. Uneli who I've been all my life. Uneli with dreams. Uneli who's the personality. So I would tell her to still do that.
The first thing that I would do or tell, it would be to say to myself, don't measure your dreams ngokwe surrounding okanye ngokwe view yabanye abantu, because as a human being we are destined to go to a certain direction or destination. Same applies with other people. So never look at yourself, am I still in the right path? Was measuring with other people. Focus to what you wanted. Focus to what Mnandi Musai that I said I want to achieve. Nobody like the reason why I'm saying this, there was a time in life I felt like, hey, I've done everything right by the book, but I'm the one who is taking is taking longer in terms of the achievements and all that. I kind of felt like I was hit hard with the hammer. So I would go back and tell myself, listen, Ichenyako is not like other people. I was cut for that. Ipetinium was made for that. And the energy that sustained me to overcome Londo, I would encourage myself to just focus. I started very young to be a father in my home, looking after my family and all that, and I ended up forgetting about myself. Another thing that I would say to myself is that balance life. There's nothing wrong. Take care of your siblings and your home, take care of university, but you need not to be stagnant when as an individual and forget your dreams, because what happens is I cannot put my life on pause. By the time I woke up, everybody that was up here with level A1 now had gone 10 steps ahead. I think that's one thing that I would really make sure I tell my younger self, balance your life so that ungathi xa upha phambili ufinishe ukuthi hey uzibethe ngenyeke elityeni when your life is only beginning to take shape now. So yeah.
What we can say with mastered is to understand or to know that there is power in agreement. The power yokuvumelana as a couple and be in it together. Because I think we've learned that the hard way. Sisando chat in 2004. Yes, 2004, because the chat singenamoto, because he took the car away nayo bayidibanisa nomali umgalelo for unlobolo. So kusafuneka ke shem ndike ndamzama ngala moto igusheshe, so kusafuneka ndiyibuyisile igusheshe yakhe bomvu. So I think so in 2004 we could not buy a car. Nas gay Indos over blacklisted. That is just the truth. Every other black child, you know, see blacklisted. So we couldn't buy a car. Like go to the bank and buy a car. So he comes back, brothers, and then they take the money in more. He PM again because I go put away kushesh. He kushesh in floor. And I'm like, okay, P, I know you're calling in down. Yes, this is a garage. Good to no blacklisted that nika is a chalo. So, and I go there, because we were saving towards buying a car eventually. So I remember, I think 10,000, yes, 10,000 galele. So ndo bonzwa le moto and I'm holding the envelope in Alemali. So sifike ke garage, ise water front the garage. So ngosi yayo ndikona senginyawo ke ngeteksi because asina. So ngosi yayo ndikona mina abantu yo hanyani indawo right le mnyena ngiqonda eza moto zi inside. Not nokwezi ziphandle eglassini yaweza garage. Ngoba yo hayi indawo right. Singene kanti sisiwe back. Siyagqitha kweseklas. Sisiwa back. Not quiz. It's so sifike phana and so eventually startwe he's just driving the car and the person, the dealer, is seated in a bag. One lady at back, I'm like, because we don't have a so I'm saying to him, babes, sure, the motor, because look at the interior, you know, like isn't easy, don't you? And he's like, because he's always been good, also mechanically, you know, he's always. So he's like, no, don't worry. He was one of directing a motor. No, I'm such an interior. Engineer, you right. You talk color, babes. We cover up, see, better up, and two. I talk color, babes. So we take the car. Must have been 13,000. Then, so say, try to get a motor, so money see that. That day, Kati motor, siyahamba, we didn't have a child then. Sitsobabini, siyahamba, siya sobonza abazali. So we decided to go to Inyanga. Siqale kumamazala. Hayi ushamba abantu badala. Yo, siyaniviyela, sihambise kumama. And then the last stop we went to Ebrakenfell, where my sister and her husband stayed then. Sahlala kwabetha u10 ebusuku. Xa kufuneka sigodukile. Siyaphuma kwi-parking bay. Imoto ichamile. Ukusuka kula end, yotsho end. Ayihambe. Like zangihambe. Sashiyapha. A car that's supposed to be new, yeah, like a baby. And you know, I think I'm telling Essie story in Tati because I'm getting to kule part of ana sa yes ukuvumelana kusukapi, because that was the beginning yokulwa yoba like silwa sisayile moto lando ithi yalento nanyilwa nixabana beki echo ubona xa ushaptise endlini beki echo because nihlala nobabini la mrepo bethanga into ba nizocabana. And we had 2-bedroom flat. Sasihlala go renting that time. He would sleep up. If flats zaseparo. Xabana namaplanga la, ukukhola flooring ngamaplanga niyaqabana. He would sleep in your room, omnye alale in your room. And I think even though you've asked us, it's one of also the things I would tell my younger self, don't sleep in separate rooms. No one. When I always say those things, I say it because I know we've done it. You know, ngogo I would tell my younger self, so we would sleep omnye lale ngapha, and like for it because la moto yasicela imali because ayifuna ulungiswa kokoko, and every time ke nxa yonakeleyo mna ndiyabona ndirepha mina engayifuni le moto ngolo besizana le moto kwasithenga wasemromlu eqhola la mrepha
shut up fuck
bendingayifunile moto ngowathisa wasana lo muntu ngoba bendingayifuni into ezinjalo. So we would fight about the car and mna bendingayifuni la moto yena uthi and unyanisile but khangutsho did you know bendine-feeling
feeling
khuphe did you know bendiyifile into abalekele bendikubuza. So we fought a lot. If there was one time I felt like into yobana hey umshado sucks, that was that time, and that time sinonyaka sishadile.
We were still learning a lot about each other. Because mina ndakhulele ekhaya ndahlala ekhaya zange ndaphuma out of home.
Yeah.
Same thing. Okwahlala kokwabo. So it's like the first time that we are like in a space like, okay, put it, just sit, talk, kaloku ufike ithojiwe. Ekhaya singama-boys ayi-5, 6, ayi-7. Ufike isinyukile wafuna uyihlisa uzayihlisa ma kwafuna ndifunde ezondo zobana okay.
And now siliswa imoto sikulonto yabona yobana nathi besisafundana. So I think sancedo ukuphuma kulo argument because it was a big one. It was really a big one. Because
it would have costed us.
Yes. Sasilwa oko. You know, there was one time when the day my father passed on, that was in 2004. Yes, August. 2004 August. When Dada esweleka, yaya wayinakele la moto.
The plan was to go and visit them.
And see them inyanga. Yaya wayinakele. So you can imagine how I blamed him ngale moto. Bana le moto, le moto yonke lonto le. And my husband used to say, we're not enemies, you know, we're a team. So Tina at that time, sasisilwa as if you are enemies. I think that is why I said that I would tell my younger self, Mamela, suku, find a way of how, you know, you can approach, you can speak, you can communicate, but speak well. In the how. So I think singacho city, that's what we've mastered uvumelana. And the isincede londo ngoku sesikhula as a couple kwinto yobana decisions into yobana even the color yendlu decisions into yobana what are we doing. But elona xesha yasinceda ngalo, it was when uMilan, you know, our son got ill. When he was small when he first had this seizure at 1 month old. So by the time Mila was 5 months, he had over 100 seizures a day. So there are decisions we needed to make. When doctors were saying uzo swelega, you know, we together, you know, there's a medication we decided but sizayekisa. Bani city side effects would angangaboni, you know. We decided together, we decided one time that like resuscitate, you know, and so we've seen that ukuvumelana kuye kwazisa a lot of breakthroughs, you know, and we've seen God coming through for us as vumelana. We've seen really amazing things, and because if we've made it a wrong decision, because you know sometimes that the decision is wrong after you've made it. You don't know at that time. So basenze a wrong decision,
We just encourage each other.
Yeah, to say that.
And also, you know, in the power of ukuvumelana. Xa nivumelana ngento niyibona uba how great it is, success here.
Yeah.
Your love is like ifumana more strength. You are kind of like gaining more strength. You load more strength to your to this point. You are even tighter than before because you are like wow, well done babes, well done, you encourage her, and then you are more wiser, and even kwezinye izinto ngokuqonda izinto ezincane ezingamaza amancane. But the real serious stuff nithi bana niyenavumelana na grand kuzo nqomba ke number one, because you are in one accord. Even so, there can never be one accord if you don't settle the differences and sit aside, because if there's a tension, kunzima ubana ndive heartbeat yakho ne. If there's a tension, ndine-cheek yam une-cheek yakho, there's no way that ndizawuyiva i-heartbeat yakho ithini. There's no way that you're gonna hear i-heartbeat yam ithini. There is no way that i-thoughts zam xa ungayiva i-heartbeat yam uzawuziva if siyajikilelana siqumbelene. Asikho bayi-one, because the minute singabikho bayi-one siya-disconnecta to one another, because ndivukelwe bubumna mna naye ivukelwe bubuyena, so sisidivosile kulaa nto yoba siya-one because siyalwa. Yebo, le nto yobana beyithetha yobana masingalwi ngongathi sizi-enemies, we are still in the same team. I-mistake iba ikulaa nto ithi uba ubundigqephile second round ndizayolanda 5 pounds hema ndifuna ugqebha lo bhotsi wakho ungaphinde ubonakala, kanti awuyazi ubana you are actually building up this wall against for ubana omnye abe ngapha we ngapha, awulidilizi uba maliwe wenza nesondelelana, but you are making bigger fence, electric fence, security mayibe tight, andimfuni lo sisi ngapha naye uthi andimfuni lo bhoti ngapha. So
I think that is why if honestly there's one thing we've learned, as bad as it was, I'm happy we've learned that lesson then. That it has helped us now with big decisions. Like he says, right, like decision, I go right. But you say no. Because science over and we were young then, and praise be to God that we grew out of that. Saibona, you know, when we were ready to buy property, there was one area we wanted to go to, and my husband was like, no. I was like, sure, but you know, no, that's fine. Even though there was a house I loved, but because by one, you know, one arm cannot be there and the other one, and the leg is that side of the same boat. And you know, so there are things. That's why I said we learned the hard way, but it's nice now because we are older, because we are able to say, hey man, we say it because we've experienced it. We don't say it because we've read it in the book. We say it because we have seen the implications. We have seen into zongathethisana ibhlungu lana uqaqanjelwa naziziqa uqhitsi ungathethi nomnye umuntu. I mean, we've been there, we've done that. Usandotshata uqwebe usandotshata awuthethi nalo muntu uyi-one. And my husband used to be the one ozawuthi ebohlobo sami, what if I don't come back, you know? And he would remind me something that my mother would say. Sometimes leave each other happy, because ubomi asibazi. Ngabe kanti is the last time and you've said lamazwi, and ke mos xa uqanikwe esa space oba uqonda uveqonda ba ufuna uyicinge lo 5 pounds besishana ufuna uza negama eli-right to inflict, visa kabuhlungu, but you are actually inflicting pain apha kuwe. Ilento noba urongo ne ngabla wena ke uthi nguyo ndo enileyo, but xa ningavana uvika mani nawo, because you are one. So we've learned that the power yokuvumelana, and it has really helped us in a lot of decisions. You know, when we pray to God, you know, those things, and God came through for us, because we've learned safunzwa la moto inhloko. Ayo namhlanje ngifuna uyibone sendiyibona nqabe kwathiwa moto. But we've really the power of melody.
And lastly, on that note, you know, Glendon lighted hayo akhondo ibaleke ngathi xa couple jongaman de life nayo mna, the more siprolonga le nto yokuqumbelana, the more inumbers zenu zoba kungabi mnandi zininzi. Yabo yakwazi uveki iphele okube niqumbelelana nithi xa nibizwa okanye nihlala phansi okanye nihlalisana phansi kanye ibintoni lana libisixabanisile iqanqala ujongolana libingekho le nto. Sekwenzeke into ezinkulu ke ngoku, seninyathelene nabethana ngo-5 pounds, omnye akanabhontsi, omnye akanantontoni, because you were hard on each other. and ke ngelishwa ke ngoku amazwi owathatha uwathethe emntwini awukwazi uphinde uwathatha.
That's true.
Badla ngokuthi umfundisi onyama afana nentsiba ozijula kukho umoya ziphaphatheke, you can't collect them. So i-purpose yayo yonke lento, we must not say things to one another that will make you uba nanto uyakwazi ukujonga kusasa xa kumnandi. Because you know what, if I can be honest with you, if wena uthetha something bad about me or about my family xa sixabene, ngomzwa ndiyilibala ndikuyithethe noba singahlekanga. Same applies with yena naye mhlawumbi uzawuba nalani ba kodwa hlobo sam, but akakwazi uyitsho ngoloo nto, but uyayibona ubana imdameyijile laa mntu laa nto. If I can say this now, in the future zintoni ezinye ndizawuzithetha ezizamdameja. Because if you can look at each other and ndibe nalaa nto ithi we are one, I must not be damaging her because I'm damaging myself. I don't want to be sitting with at home with a woman violate ii-rights zayo, because i-gender-based violence iqala kwinto ezinjeyana. Whether yindoda eyenza loo nto okanye umntu ongumama, you say things to one another and it becomes a norm. Umbone uba akaphenduli, instead uyamdeflate aqoba ukuphasa ezi comments zala magama kuba uphethe 5 pounds. Yeah, so what between mna noNeli, our relationship and what we went through the early stages of our marriage, of course they were part of me learning to live with her and learn to be able to stay with her without fighting. Siyafundana in a way, because usuka kokwabo unemfundiso zakokwabo nami ndinezasekhaya. But what hurt the most for me and what made me to feel that she has helped me to pull out of the hole in Andikuyu, it's when my son was sick. When Mila was sick, I was in a hole of myself, and you know, we hardly speak when we are going. Just go wish at in a state. One, sikhulela kwi-environments whereby if uxelela amadoda bayi ndikhubekile ndawa nehlekana before kubekho ozawuthi let us help each other. Nina abantu abangomama ikwi-nature yenu into yobana when you are hurt niyahagana nililelana lile umntu iphele lapha, and then nibuze what happened, how did it start, okay, nize ne-solution. Iyaba ngabo nabo badecide uba bayohleba ngayo ke bayophunga ngayo, but okusalayo into yobana laa mntu umka itherapy eyifumene, the basic one. Thina abantu bangotata ke ngokuhlala unalaa nto qonda ish kwakuthiwa indoda ayikhali, sikhulela kuloo environment and indoda ayikhali, and you need to be strong for your family and be strong for everybody else around you. And to a point that uzibona ubana heyi kudala ndi-strong man, akho change yenzekayo and amandla ayaphela, liyafika ixesha aphela amandla. But you know, uThixo ndixelela inyanisile iBhayibhile xa isithi uThixo akakunika umthwalo ongasoze uwuthwale. That's where Nelly came through for me. Nelly, she could see that I'm drowning in my sorrows, although ndibabonisa ngathi ndi-grand. But you know, Nelly would come. There was a time that I will never forget. Even now, she doesn't forget that when we talk, I was always strong. We would go to hospital and stay there. We were hospitalized for close to 6-7 months. That time, I was down and out. I went, that's position as a cat on Bega. I'm with Delilah for some children.
You're right.
I cried. That would go up as even better. Then we spoke about it. What are my fears and all that, you know. That's when she pulled me out of my hole, because that time I was like, really, I don't know. I trust God. Whether Mila lives or he dies, I know God will remain the same. He won't change. And he's still gonna give us other children, whatever. But the point that I wanted to make is that she pulled me out of that hole, because I didn't have someone to talk to as a man, whereby I would tell my fears and all that. She's the only one that unlocked that part in my heart. She is the one who had the password to sense that this guy here I need to dimlevelishe, because wonke umuntu uyathetha nami ndinguneli, I cry athini, but this guy is still standing. And I think that was the moment for me. which I don't forget. And even, when was it? A couple of days ago. Last week we were talking about it. Last week. We were talking about it. You know, that moment for me, I soon, because there's a mean, do you know bana umntu ukuze abe kwi-stage sobana aqeqe kuthiwa umntu uyaxeqa ayizonto ayondiqala kancinci ndedala ikhona yahamba yafikelela apho beyond to i-capabilities zakhe zoba ayihandlishe imeko yakhe kuthiwa uba noqhawukelelo ikhaseli kanti okanye uzibulele because nezo imeko imini zazike zifuna ufika uqomba if I would take my life maybe lo mntana angarayithi okanye what, and then you ask yourself, what about aba barayithi bangaguliyo bona uzawuthi mabathi uzawashiya nantoni? Then ingqondo zibuye ubana I need to man up and be strong. So yeah, thank you for
I think for me as well, we've gone through quite a while. I'm trying to think the time that one helped me, you know. We've had a share of good times and share of difficult times, you know, a share of where our vows have been tested. You know, we've had a share of peak, you know, that you like right financially. We've had that share, we know it, you know. But I think same with him, the most difficult time ever, it's when what he shared, our son got ill. One thing that people don't maybe realize, or maybe people do realize, is that as women, we've got a lot of insecurities. You know, when this mentioned, you know, that is why we try to lose weight because we are people who are so self-conscious, and it's okay, but it needs a balance. I think the time Nyenwamna helped me was when I had lost the confidence. You know, I was pregnant, then the child gets ill, you know, pregnant to a healthy child, gave birth to a healthy child, but then the Ndana gets sick, and I went through self-confidence as a woman, you know, as someone who was carrying this child. I was feeling like I had failed. I mean, Ndana is a girl, and a boy is a pride of a family, and data, because it's also a continuation, you know, his surname and the legacy. So I went through a time of depression, a time where I was highly depressed, and go younger Londo, feeling like maybe there was something wrong with my womb, you know, maybe there was something wrong I had done. You know, younger again, depression it's trying to think, because the man will be right, and then this child is sick. I remember one time the city after we had been told that he's gonna pass on, the city will listen, maybe let's make another baby, you know. We are even right, you know. Let's make another baby so that then I can give you a hair, you know. And I remember, I think one Bamba, Sue, no, you're fine. There's nothing wrong with you. I'm fine. I don't want another child. You know, because he could see that now I had taken it deep, you know. I am inadequate, you know, to bring out a normal child. And raising a child with special needs, that on its own, having a child with special needs, that on its own makes you feel, you know, different, because you put yourself in this box qala when you're going through that, you know, umntana kwathini, and naba abantwana babanye abantu bayazi baba right, uyabona, here I am, uyabona, I've got this child, you know, and now this child is not normal because ugulile, you know. And so I went through elo xesha lobana I was feeling inadequate as a woman. I was feeling, you know, not enough. I was feeling I have failed him. You know, I have failed to bring out the Gaji legacy. You know, a boy. You know, because even that day when he was crying, he cried on the day Ogriha. I think this is all 2012. On the day Ogriha said to us, finally told us, no, the child's not going to make it. And I think I had never seen him cry that much. You know, he had lost Utatake. He wept actually. He's never cried that much. I've known him, I mean, for 28 years, since 1993. So I had never seen him cry that much. He lost to brother Wake, you know, who was shot, and who he loved dearly. But I have never ever seen him at a moment, you know, of loneliness. So, and he kept on saying, oh no, my boy, my boy, my boy. And I think for me, yasukela apho, because I could feel his heart that he really wanted a boy, you know, and he was proud. And now the boy, we are told the boy is not gonna make it. And here is a man crying, you know, for his boy. And I think as it was I that played on me, you know, Dokmana, my boy, even though he's saying I pulled him out of that hole, but even though I pulled him out because I was strong maybe that day, you know, and I had to, because we had each other. Yes, we've got family, we've got people who were around us at that time, but ekugqibeleni abantu leave, abantu go. Ne-medical bills sadla ngotsho into yoba uziqonda into yethu, because even the medical bills zisheke nathi noba abantu bebekhona. So I think he helped me to restore confidence, you know, and to know that there's nothing wrong with me, you know, because he affirmed it. Babes, there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. Here is Milan, you know, he's alive, even though our clothes of Soleg. Yeah, he is. There's nothing wrong with you. We're gonna raise this child together. I love him. I don't want a replacement of him, you know. So I think him affirming that really helped me to build a confidence, and ne fears. Zendoba mama xozo beqondo bana umuntu ongitata ke ufuna umntana wekwekwe, you know, uhleli mhlawumbe akakho happy but akazutsho. But I think even when I would just be quiet, umnyeni would affirm it. So I eventually, you know, pulled out of it darkness, a depression, and this is solar, you know. Solar because I'm not God, you know. God decides whatever he decides. So he really helped me to. I pulled him out. He also pulled me out of a lamgodi with depression. And I remember I would be, because I disengaged. You know, there was a time that I disengaged. There was a time that I would not even hold the baby, you know, because I'm angry, you know, I'm even angry at this thing that's going on in Bay too. And now that's when I was like really, really depressed. I would come back from work, the depression, and he closed the gap of being utata, umama, because I was just in my own space, you know. He closed the gap. He would cook. He did everything in his power to make sure that my mental health, you know, I heal mentally, I heal emotionally, you know, and was Tata and was and he closed the gap, you know, at that time, because I knew that I am an amandla, you know. This is at the time was we know now we've got this child that we must raise. We know now, but this is our reality, you know. So close the gap. We would wake up and his captain, zone out him, and Mbasa was 6 and he was there and I was not there emotionally, you know, because of imeko ke esasikuyo at that time. And I remember even he's the one who said to me, babes, therapy, you know. He made sure that I go for therapy, you know. He made sure that I am fine mentally, yeah, man. And he helped me, yeah, in that way, because I when I was better, then I slowly came back, you know, slowly came back, and be part of a family. Sajongana again and oh, okay, now this is us, because we were shocked. Do you know what we're gonna do? You know, so sajongana again when we were both now at least nicely healed, and sajongana and sakwazi basithethe about okay, this is what's happening now. How are we gonna deal with this? Sakwazi also to really share nicely even the responsibilities, and we've got abantwana babini, you know. So I think, yeah, he helped me. He pulled me out also, out of a very dark state, you know, say depression and state of feeling inadequate, you know, as a woman.
I love to share this. If you want to be happy with your woman, it's very important that you learn books that will explain just like women, they have to empower themselves in understanding what kind of species are we as Amado. One thing that I've learned from that book, I'm married to a last born, a twin. A last born, Jena. Yes, most last borns, they get everything they want. Yes, as a last born, they cry for into yomdala, so she is used to that. So I had to, fortunately for me, I'm a middle child, so middle children, because your parents is busy, last born is busy, first born. But when I school, when I learn as pandel, so the cool environment in child. So study in the umuntu wakho akhuliswe ngayo. Zindoni izinto ezimenza ubana azifilishe ukuthi you are that person. If utatama kakho, you will close the gap. Build a relationship and know the family yalo muntu. Uyazi ukuthi okay, lo muntu ufundiswe njani, izindoni ezizimenza afilishe ubana I'm loved. Nandi la awutithenga amaflower, ndikhulele elokishini, yilena engayikhumbuli nanto bandaguqana sandenze lona, because I mean zinto besizibukele TV, so I couldn't relate to that. I would be faking if benza uthi gqeba uye ndigqibe mphethe iflower ndegaqa ndidekse masibekile uyabo. So what I'm saying is that jonga umuntu wakho, ujonge indlela akhule ngayo, and try and close the gap. Zindona azithandayo, zindona ezimenza athi abantu bangomama ba complicated, because uyamgqibela ethanda i-hairstyle ethile, then couple of months uthanda ethile, uphinde uthi gqi sekukho enye and all that. Go with the flow. If not that ubekufaka unanseka, but just go with the flow. zonke into zimenza abe happy. Trust me, as arguments are unnecessary. Another thing, mkhuthazi bamaka uba ungumuntu othanda isipili, mkhuthazi bamakavuke earlier ukwenza ningalishwa into yoba nizawuphuma late endlini uba nine-appointment, because akubunandanga into yoba nithi uba beniphume endlini look forward to that event niya kuyo nifike seningasathethi nxeba ukwenze late. Mkhuthazi umayinele ukwenzela ubana u-investa elaa xesha lobana ngomso angakwenzi late. Ayine babes uzanxibe uzibeke apha noba ziyi-5 wow ube nguSuperman ayine ube right uzigcwalise phaa uyazi mos unga-ayina le ngomso avuke athi ufuna enye phinde ukhubeke. Ngcono uthi makazikhuphe apha azibeke zonke uzame umncedise. Trust me, azizumlwisa ezaa nto zobana nizawube nimka late. And another thing, last thing, affirmation. Tell your woman you love her, how beautiful she is. How beautiful she is. You love her. Because Londo imenza azifilish bana. Uyayiva i-heartbeat yakho nenhliziyo yakho uyayiva uba ulapha endlini. Awukho ngapha kwecingo, awukho ngapha kwestrato, ulapha eyadini. So the minute you do things and then you start slowly by forgetting them, noba awuzenzi intentionally, the distance uyayifilish. She's the first person ozaxela bana andikuva. It means you are preoccupied. Noba zizinto mhlambi thina abantu bangotata asikwazi umultitask ne. Xa uhasilisha mhlambi uzama uba makube right ubone uba into ezithile. Ngamanye amaxesha uzawuhasilisha to a point that umzekelo mna I love to work with cars. Ndiyakwazi ukuhlala mna egaraji nemoto kude kube sebusuku. Umenza ubana kasibonani the whole day. Ndizawugqinda ine-oil, ngenishaware ndihlambe nditye ndidiniwe. Uba ndiye ndacimela zimkile. Yabo. So the point that I'm making is that make time for one another. You know, I've got this thing entsha. Mhlambi abanye abantu ingangayibikho ngokwe-term yethu ke thina as-Christians esindisiweyo. Ingangabi into esindisiweyo le term. Ndine-term yobana ndithi masiyojola. Because iba ngathi le nto yobana sitshatile sithole umnqamlezo omkhulu. Inesidima le nto inginzi eza kube nzima uhlalela. Kanti if ndithi masiyojola, yilaa nto izawuthi we keep it young and si-active, siya-encourage uba masibe kule nto, yabo. Sivisane kamnandi, phele yonke enye into. If ke ayikusuti wena mntu uzawuqomba lo mzalwane wethu, it's fine. Keep it kwilane yakho, yami ilane ke le yobana ndithi babes masiyojola shiya abantwana kukhulu okanye siwashiye sibe lapha endleleni, because i-point is for us to be happy until sohlulwe kukufa. Thina sizibona sibadala sibolekisana ngamazinyo. Sike old age home, not old age home ke. Siretire sibolekisana ngamazinyo, ne-false teeth, ne-glass xa ingaboni ezakhe ndithathe ezakhe. That's the plan. Masihlale kunye. So we have to invest in each other. Ngokonwabisana. Sibe badala siyojola ngosemaxesha bazaziphethe intonga.
Yeah, I think that I would say I wish men knew about women is that we are complicated, yes, but in a nice way. And we wish that men can take time to learn us and understand us. Indobana si gender enjani. We don't like to be confined as women. Asikuthanda ukubizwa. Ilendo nezi hairstyles zofumanisa indobana tomorrow I want to look this way, and well, maybe ngo-6 ekuseni ndifuna ujonga this or hlobo. Sukunqanda okanye sukothuka uba later on I want to look, you know. So singabantu aba highly emotional as women. We are emotional, and some of the decisions zethu, even how we look, it goes with how I'm feeling on the day. If I want to feel chic, then I'm gonna dress that way, you know. If I want to feel like Mamu Gaji, then I'm gonna pull a Mamu Gaji look. So it's it's those things that I wish men can just know, that we are emotional people. Singabantu abakuthandayo ukuxelelwa into yoba siyathandwa. We love that. We love to be told, we love to be affirmed. Siyathanda ukunconywa. And I don't know about other people. For me, if uthenda inhle, ayike noba bangathula abanye kungatshiwo xa ndiphume phandle, but if akatshongo ndogqibe ndifike enkonzweni kubekho umuntu uzawuthi yhu awusemhle gqiba xa kubuya mlike hlobo sam ured ke ngoku khawungncome ndinconyiwe ugrand like njani ngoku azothi yena ndicinga ndizawuncoma qha usewandingxamela utsho yatsho usewandingxamela. So siyathanda thina unconyo as women, siyathanda uxelela into yoba sibahle as women. Singabantu abathandayo nje in our nature as well. Nabantu abathanda ulife, you know, no thanda abantu. So we also like as women to be allowed space to be us, you know, and to fulfill our dreams, even if men you feel like yeah I could write got a lay afuna uyenza, you know, ndiyeke uba ndifuna uthengisa uthapha wengomso ndimgqibe esithubeni mhlawumbi ndingamgqibi ndiligqile sithi ndifuna inuka nasi kuthiwa yahambi inuka. Singabantu abaphepheteka msinyana nomoya, singabantu torho bezinto nantsi ndiyeke unuka uba ndizophinde ndithi gqi ndithi yhu nangu Avon ndiyeke noba ndiyeke esithubeni, just let me be. Okubana nje we are people who are like that as women, and because see I think I've said it, because we are emotional, you know, some of our decisions we make them based on our emotions intobana okay. And I think that is why maybe nasezinkonzweni kugcwele thina, because singaba bazawuleqeka into yoba sive ingathi ayikhona impiliso ngapha sizawuyapho kayisive into yobana ikhona into kwikiseyile ngapha ndiyeke hamba nam torho khawundise eseyilini okanye ndiyeke ndiziyele uba kuthiwa kutshiphu ngapha. So we like to be allowed space to be us, and you know, akho mntu ufrustrated who is the woman, ngathi yi-woman that is, you know, enclosed, uvalelo, and I'm not saying, I'm saying dobana ipartner ayinocebisa, but you know there are petty things. Ziphethe wethu into zethu thina zoba ngomso ndifuna inuka, ngomso omnye ndifuna into benthe kuwe iyasebenza uRevron, but akasebenzi. The next day akasebenzi uRevron, ndiya kwa eselot ndiyeke sundibuza sikondimbuza aba besebenza ngitheni noba sizocala zonke eza products singabantu botraya yibona sundibuza into abantu kanti ngoku buthe yi-bleach ethile senza mamela kusebenza le ngoku yiba blonde bakule kuyo ngoku into abana nansi esebenzayo ngoku. So I think the most frustrated women I have seen, I have come across, abanye sikhula nabo who are married, are women who are really kept kule nto ntoba hey okoshani umntu dada uthe hayi man suyenza le hairstyle. Yeah, but I'm not saying I'm not talking these couples, you know, okanye hayibo ubungatshongo kanti uthenga uRevron hayi yawulinda yawumthanga kulo nyaka uzayo masime ngoyeselot. So siba frustrated when we are, you know, confined ngolo hlobo. I don't want to use the word controlled, but we become, if you want to have a happy wife, happy mother, yeke ndixeleke umntu ongutata jaka myeke hlobo sam vele uvale wena ucimele uba hayi masam masitry lo Revlon wakho. And so yeah, and I thank God because I have enjoyed to be allowed to be me and to just be crazy. It's such a beautiful space, and if you want to see a beautiful wife, you know, a successful wife, a beautiful mother, a happy woman, just let her be.
Right. Now what I can say, I normally say to Ngoskas, if sasitshatile saba nomntana, ke sinomntana ona 18 ngoku. Ukusukela ngokuya fine ke 28 years. Udibana kwethu, if we had been naughty, ke sinomntana 28, ke sinomntana ophangelayo, ke sinomntana uyayibona ngumntu lowo ne, because I got married when I was 28. Yebo. Ilanto ithi ke ngoku ngumuntu umdala uyazihlalela ufundile wagqiba usaqhubekeka uzithengele umzi uzithengele indlu, so indala lonto. What I would say to someone else or out there, including to myself, I'm still saying that xa ungena kwi-relationship sungena ngenxa ye-materials, ngena because you love the person, ngena because you know that no materials are gone, you will still say I love you, you are beautiful. You know, there were times that we would share iqanda and songa thina and laugh about it and just enjoy it, self-romanticize, senze a romantic dinner ngeqanda nesonga and just be chilled about it and still say I love you. And that is not taking anything away from you. Instead, you are cultivating your marriage. Fightelani uba nihlale nonwabile more than manihlale nesilwa as a couple. Because you know, xa unekhaya lilwayo nakwaziwa ngokulwa, xa likhaya lonwabileyo nakwaziwa ngokonwaba udibene nophambana. You know what is nice about that? When you are mad nonwabe niphambene, ani stress ona impukane le ihlise nyuka. You don't stress over abamelwane bana yo hey namhlanje bekumise imoto ezingakumise abantu driveway yami and all that. You just get out, you greet people, you come in and you enjoy your life because onwabile. Xa miserable, you look at other things more than looking inside your yard. Focus klendo ukuyo and love your partner and be there. Umjonga emehlweni, umonwabise. Jonga mayibe ilanda ithi i-purpose yami klendo ndikuyo kukwenza nomuntu happy. Mandichuchumbiseke, I mustn't feel good xa elele kungekho right. So I must be propelled by into endipropelayo mayibe into yobana I want to see her laughing. You know, I get worried if jokes zami don't make her laugh. Ndinqomba hey kutheni ndiyaphelelwa ngoku. I used to charm her ahleke. So afunanga uphele funeka utry mame noma umhlowenene emihlinzo umane ujula nayo nje. Betho sakza betho sakekile. Sometimes uzenza usakekile wena apha endlini. You just wakuhleke nabantwana xa ungekho mama utata ubuya nini sigcwele edana uhleka. You must build that culture. You know, there was a time that I would say to my wife, you know, ndingava kabuhlungu mna ubana ndiyathi ebudaleni bam ndithi xa ndimamele nincokola nabantwana ndive ubana nanisonwaba kube mnandi xa ndingekho. Xa ndibuyile kube tense endlini kungabikho kuba ndingumntu we-order ndibona ohayi abaninzi abantwaneni but ndiye ndiyancedwa ngunkosikazi wenicala ndiye ndilosinishe. Leave the kids, let them be, this is their home, let them be. So i-purpose yam is to make sure that those that are around me, my family, they enjoy my company more than anyone else. Mandingahlekelwa ngabantu abasestratweni bangahleka balapha endlini hlobo sam. Maqale kuhleka balapha eyadini endlini. Athi noba umkile perhaps ubuya nina sigcwele edana uhleka. You must be i-comedian yakwakho. Nawe umuntu ongumama ufuna ube yi-comedian yakwakho. Indoda izazi uba hey, I can't wait bana ndiyofika endlini ndizohlekiswa ngulo mfazi okanye naye lo mfazi athi ndizohlekiswa ngulo tata nabantwana batsho, because you are trying to bring a nation right, happy. Love one another, make each other happy. Don't explain yourself bana sathini senze njani. I-purpose yakho kubana nihlekisane qha. Abanye abantu babathini ayondaba yabo.
Yeah, I think for me, over and above, to add to what Nyenam has said, if there's one thing I would say to Bandabacha, especially in Klesha, that marriage is get divorced or and umshado kuthethwa kakubi ngawo into bana come to perfect, okanye akho, akho umshado right, and I think I do want to say this, ubu right bomshado does not mean azikho izinto imicelamngeni apha emshadweni. Into abanenza ukuthi I'm happily married, it doesn't mean we don't have any challenges. It doesn't mean that we don't have any weaknesses and imperfections, but it means that we have mastered indlela of dealing with those things. Kwesa story bengenasithetha at the time omnye wayilala ngapha, there's no way I was going to say I was happily married, because at that time we had not mastered a way, of how to deal with conflicts. So does it mean we don't have any conflicts now? No, we have, because we are human beings. We've got different personalities, but now we have mastered a way of how to deal with conflicts. So it's no longer into yobandi sibeke conflict. It's no longer into ozawuqonda ubana antsena stress okobesisile ubusuku bonke, because we find a way. So now I think I do want to say that, as abantu abatshatileyo and to young people, let us not be, sibamba amakhwapha, masingoyiki ukutsho bethuna sithi uThixo uyasinceda ngetshadweni kumnandi. Regardless of omnye uzathi yo kumnandi njani sana bexavatha ngenyawo. And of course this is not to say that we must romanticize even poverty and say xa sisokola siqonda ba, but it's just that ke xa ni together kulando niqonda bana okay, we are holding, sobabini, and building obubomi sobabini. We know we are now into this, but it doesn't mean basizawuphelela kulento. And I would also say mna ebantwini abatshatileyo awukho umtshato ophumelelayo without God. I have seen it in my marriage, I've seen it in my relationship. Awukho betmani. Awukho. And I think, to young women that are there, one of the things endimbulela ngazo uThixo was that at the age enditshate ngayo, I mean, when I was 24 years, ndangena kulesine, sihambo lesine ke thina ngena komama abangamaxhegwazana. Amaxhegwazana, you'll be so bored xa mncinci na 20 into safika emtshatweni awunabantwana, and there's this mama xakuthandazo is naming abantwana bakhe one by one abaserhawutini. Yebona nakuthethwa kulesine omama bayathetha about ingxaki zabo zasemtshatweni, kumnandi kuwe wena yeqo. And all these things abamama, it's so boring because yosana akumandi kwami. Yebona I will relate, but if there's one thing endiyibulelayo kubawo was that ukuba kulaa company abantu abadala yandinceda and prepared me for the years to come, because asizuhlala sibanini okokoko, and prepare for the time ebekunzima for thina, that I would know that there are things endingazokwazi ukumtshintsha zomnye nam. I must simply just go to God and pray and say, Lord, help him. Yes, Lord, just help this dude. Lord, help him. Noba intoni area of weakness that the partner has. That has helped me, because it's something endayifundayo ndayincanca komama ngexesha thina esasikhula ngalo sihamba kulesini, and a whole lot of other things, how to run my household. So kwi-couples ezikhoyo namhlanje, honestly I do not know how marriage survives without God, without the one who created marriage. without the one who came up with this institution of marriage. I do not know how umshado survives or makes it without God. And yes, so if there's one advice out of all advices, I would say abantu mabazifunele uThixo bamfake emishado yabo.
I love you. I love you even more than I first met you. What I have now, I always say to you, if I were to open my heart to Ibone, but inshallah, I would still marry you even in your life. I would still love you and make you happy and keep you and protect you. I love you, Mavamba.
Babes, I think I remember my vows because even though such thing is on bonus, but I wrote my vows. And I said that I vow not to change you, you know, to be someone that you're not. I think I've done that. And all I think after all the 18 years that we're together is to say thank you. You know, thank you for you know, for being there for us as a family. Thank you for being a man of integrity. Thank you for being a man of your word. Thank you for being yourself. Thank you for not trying to be someone else. Thank you for giving me the best version of who you are. When Mbasa said on the anniversary, she thanks you that when times were tough for us, when we know that abanye abantu choose to run away, even though wawubetha ngereng, but when you remained supporting us. So thank you so much. Thank you for always wanting to make me happy. Thank you for the time, you know, you will make sure that also Tati lunch bar, if I could, you know, on Valentine's Day, because that's all you had. Thank you. I appreciate those moments. I didn't need flowers, you know, even though I wish you had given me flowers. Not gonna lie. But, you know, that was enough. That showed me your heart. Thank you so much, you know, for those significant moments where when you had nothing monetary, but all you had was yourself. When you cooked me, I see you got 2009, I was coming from Eskolweni, UNISA, and we're looking after a 2-year-old. And you know, when I walked in, you gave me this plate of ECQ and still cleaning the house. You know, those for me, Kleminyaka, are memories that I'll never forget. And those for me were the times, and I am naive and not so much the times when you took me out for dinner, not so much the times when you bought me expensive shoes, but at the time when you had nothing, at the time where you had reasons to say, I can't, and just hold your arms, but you gave me your heart and you gave me your all. So thank you so much. Mditi, hala, sopicho, zondwa zinchaba zingazokwenzani. Thank you so much for being this best person that you are. Thank you for being a man of faith. Thank you for being a good father. Thank you for being a good example, Kumbasa, the daughter that we're raising, for her to know that there are still good men out there, and you are that good man.